Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, with the video I just did correcting an error that I made, you can see that I'm not afraid of finding out the truth. If it proves I'm wrong about something, I want to know what the truth is. I don't want to be spreading lies to people, as I apparently have been with the Eagle Gate, calling it a Seagull Gate. So the symbol is completely changed now. I'm surprised no Mormon stood up to say, "No, Travis, it's the Eagle Gate." When I did my coppersmith video, as I had done the section in my book that I published on the coppersmith shop, I based it upon a coppersmith shop, and so it was wrong. As a Mormon, a couple of Mormons actually, were polite and kind to ask. It says in the picture Coopersmith shop. Is that a typing error or what? You know, he was asking, and so I had to check, and oh my goodness, the picture does show Coopersmith shop. I had no idea what a Coopersmith shop was. I had to look it up, and in looking it up, finding out the truth, I went, oh, that reveals a whole lot more than if they were blatantly a coppersmith shop. And so the truth not only dispels error, it enlightens the mind of the bigger picture. And that's why it's disturbing that Mormons are so afraid of the truth. Well, I can understand why, because it means their church is false. But they don't need to fear Joseph, as this is the process I went through to find out about Joseph. I had heard the attacks. I had heard the claims with translation and such, and the church just was silent. They had no answer for any of the claims against Joseph. And then in 2014, I find out that they'd published the gospel topic essays and confessed that he's not a translator. Wait a minute, I already found out the truth. And in finding the truth, I became the decipherer of Paleo-Hebrew. I became the decipherer of Egyptian petroglyphs, and made the discovery, as there were a couple others who caught on to things, but they didn't develop it into a theory. Gary Greenberg and the late D.M. Murdoch. And so I am the discoverer, having developed the theory and tested the theory that the biblical stories come from the Egyptian petroglyph translations. Yes, one petroglyph has multiple translations, as I have demonstrated multiple times using the creation glyph, the Heliopolis creation glyph of the Egyptians. It's used multiple times within Genesis alone. And then Joseph Smith even uses it for another translation. Well done, Joseph. But when you pursue the truth, you correct the falsehood that's going around. So when I tell you guys Joseph Smith was not a polygamist, that's because I found out, and I still keep finding out. As I had found out that no, Joseph Smith was not a polygamist. He was set up by Brigham Young so that he can practice it in secret and then come out in 1852 and declare, oh yeah, we're practicing polygamy openly now. You know, prior to that, it was under the guise of, oh, I'm helping take care of these women, these poor women who don't have a man to take care of them, and you know, I'm taking care of them. And then he comes out in 1852, I was practicing it all along, and Joseph Smith was okay with it because he did it in secret. And then people came out and said, after Brigham Young made the statement, then people said, oh yeah, Joseph told me, I remember, because he told me about this angel who like came to him, and like he had a sword, and it was a two-edged sword, and he said, Joseph, you need to practice polygamy openly immediately, or I'm going to smite you down right here, right now. And so Joseph practiced it in secret, and thus was murdered in the Carthage jail by Willard and John Taylor. No, I didn't say that part, but and of course I'm exaggerating their voice for comic relief. But yeah, when I had already found out, I still always check and double check myself. Even over time, I'll still go back, like the Seagullgate. Oh, Eaglegate. I'd already established that it was Lucifer's star on there. That can't be corrected, Mormons, if you're wanting to know. Oh, Travis, you got to keep searching for the truth, and until you find something that tells you that Venus is not Lucifer. Ain't gonna happen, guys. Sorry, it's a falling star. That's established. You just gotta keep searching until something confirms it. And if you don't find it in this life, you'll find it in the afterlife. And we'll help you in the afterlife, Travis. We'll help you get there. You offering to murder me? Oh, no, no, no. We're going to help you. Yeah. And so, with the Cooper Smith Shop, did the video series to correct it. Still have to correct it in the book. Getting to books is just, I just can't. There's just too many distractions and obstacles now. Ever since I'm under attack, trying to warn you guys about the end of the world, I just can't get even to the brass plates. Unfortunately, I published the creation story to Noah, which is the template for the rest of everything. Yeah, I haven't been able to finish it, but I know how to do it. Ezekiel 37, Mormons. I mean, you got punked with Christopher, with the sealed portion. It's actually a very good read. But yeah, he came out and confessed that he was purposely doing it to deceive Mormons, to see how many would be dumb enough to believe in it, and took down a descendant of Joseph Smith through Hiram. Ada Smith, I believe. Yeah, come on, guys. And then, but interestingly, Mark Hoffman, it's got that infamous picture of him and Hinckley, I know, was in there. Packer, I thought it was Ballard, but it's Packer, because I went and checked after I had done the video where I said it might have been Ballard. And I think Brown, Hugh B. Brown. But again, I'd have to, I don't have the picture in front of me. Yeah, they're supposedly looking over some of his forgeries, and of course the infamous forgery is the Salamander letter. And I heard about the Salamander letter and read the Salamander letter and went, what? What? They got punked on this? I mean, first of all, no. They didn't have salamanders back in those days speaking, not even in mystical things. So yeah, he punked them big time on that. But his intention was to scare them into paying and thus keeping it a secret from the rest of the world, because the contents said that Joseph Smith granted succession to the church to his son, which the church, being the Illuminati church, knows that could be a likely possibility that Joseph Smith would have done that, because Brigham Young was not the true successor. But again, it shows that they didn't even know their own scriptures, because section 107 verse 22 is how Joseph Smith was supposed to be succeeded, and nobody did it, because Brigham Young didn't want to do it, because he didn't want to risk not being the president, or if he did become the president, because of the number of Danites he had converted, that Sidney Rigdon then might end up being his counselor. He didn't want that risk. And so even though he elevated or exalted himself, as Joseph calls him, as Judas, in 1839, 8 technically, he kicked out Thomas B. Marsh in 1838 after Joseph was thrown in jail again because of the Danite actions. And when Joseph got out, he gave the talk that's in the Joseph Smith papers, where he just lays into the 12, telling them that Thomas B. Marsh was a good man, called Brigham Young Judas for exalting himself, as they voted properly, as section 107 talks about, the quorum that remained, because William Smith got booted out of there too and was excommunicated. So Joseph had to put him back in. And I suspect that William was supposed to be the inside man to keep tabs on what's going on in there, to report to Joseph. But yeah, the remaining guys voted to have Brigham Young be the president of the quorum of the 12 missionaries. They had the keys to preach the gospel to the world. That was it. That was their keys. They did not have the keys of the kingdom, only the keys to preach the gospel of the kingdom. Big difference. They had no authority to take over the leadership of the church. And so in order to do so, they had to then say, oh, well, we're not going to follow this. And now, guess what we call, oh, you already know what we call it, Mormons. It's a sustaining vote. Yeah, we don't vote. We give loyalty oaths. That's what it's called. And so, identifying error with truth really goes a long way, and has been my guide in my life. Not just for church history and ancient translation, but everything in my life. I don't like being the bearer of falsehood, because I remember as a kid being gullible. My peers would tell me all sorts of stuff, and I believed them. I was a gullible kid. And so then I would go and pass that false information around to other people. And then I realized that I was telling lies one day, and that it was my peers who were telling me the lies, so that I would go and spread the lies. And so from that moment on, I vowed I need to make sure to check things. And so again, the Eagle Gate, yeah, I got punked again. But I still am willing to admit that I made the mistake and confess and start promoting the truth, which, like I told you in the video, confirms Brigham Young was Illuminati. The one eagle conquering the beehive, still it's conquering the industrious people, slavery, but it's the one eagle of the Illuminati with the foundation of Lucifer. That's the Illuminati. Light bearers. So Mormons shouldn't be afraid of the truth, but they should be afraid of what the truth means, because it means we all got punked as Mormons, going around on our missions spreading lies. And that, again, as I realized as a kid, I don't want to go around spreading lies. And so on my mission, I didn't want to tell people things that I didn't know. And fortunately, I didn't have much opportunity to teach people the discussions. But the discussions were, you read them. Not much in the way of trying to tell people why I didn't have a wife as a deacon. That was my greenie prank. We had a dinner appointment that Elder Gale took me to, and Elder Gale tried setting me up. Oh, he's kind of less active, so don't be surprised if, you know, he throws you some hardballs. And so he starts off shaking my hand and says, "So why don't you have a wife? You're supposed to have a wife as a deacon." Good times. So, alrighty.